say lob it direct and wins. Now Santa Maria will put up a three. Bang! Is Warner. Here comes a headed jam. Counted for two. Field. Adios! And the Falcons win on a walk-off. What a game. Smack to the left. That is gone. Lopper's and they go nuts. And why not?
Getting close to that time. It's getting close to, of course, football season, which also means it's getting close to college soccer season and, well, also the real season of, well, just the bicentennial baseball fields, softball fields, to be exact. So very come out, and it's going to be distributed from schools to schools and everywhere else. There might be something else coming up here soon as well. Of course, until we get further and just tremendous confirmation for what could be coming up very, very soon. Just yet how it's all going to play. It's going to and so really what I want to start off with, kind of course, we're still going to be talking about the Red Crowns, at least for this just almost a dead period in the team's history, because right now they're just a summer team. What does that mean? Our team, Tier 4. It's 90% all about corporate and corporations up there. Now there are top 10 corporations up there. Now there are top teams that have been top forever throughout the MLS. Like the Seattle Sounders, the Portland Timbers, the Portland Timbers, the couple of others even that, I mean, don't necessarily come to mind. Maybe Columbus Crew as well. Yes, Columbus Crew being another one where you're talking about this. Well, that is Tier 1. That is Division 1. That is the top tier of football in is USL. The USL other than USL League. USL League 2, that is a semi-pro league, and it's only run in the summer. And so, on top of that, you have that league, you have NPSL, you have leagues that are college, which is becoming less and less of a thing because of NIL and all of that for college sports that are above, of course, soccer. But it's very interesting. RGV Red Crowns one last time, and also you're doing so as well. I believe one of them being Cade Erickson, another one being, I believe, Izaid. If not, he will be at the match, and it's 23s soccer. So that's very exciting. Means because of ownership. Listener, it's perfect. Then on top of it, they were dove for kids that I played in the Valley, that I played together, but are in college now. That I played in the Valley, that I played together, but are in college now at maybe at least Division 2. Where he went, he went to American University. Let's go and grab him if we can. Then all of a sudden there were more connections. Of course, Nisa, we talked most part, I should say. It really was the whole entire season, because yes, there was one match where he did not play. They were on the road, and another to interview him as well. Again, there was another player, and after that play, the players that the president of the crucial, so key, that even he was a time for UTRGV goes to for college soccer. They are one of the top elite teams. They made it to the college soccer national championship. I forget what that whole tournament is called. It's not the Frozen Four, but it's their version of the. Again, just the team. It was pretty interesting. That's the best way to put it. So, something very cool for this team and the way that they were able to be coached and the way that they were able to be done was well. I get into, of course, just for a short time, of course, UTRGV football, why I expect them to struggle. New coaching. They had to be together with the team. Coach that they got was task. A little more Red Crowns talk, sports talk. A little more Red Crowns talk.
At San Benito Vision Source, the optometry staff works around your busy schedule and take the time to answer your questions and concerns. Prior to a visit. Dr. Jaime Rodriguez and Dr. Laura Loki offering full vision examinations, diagnostics, and treatment of an array of eye diseases and conditions to keep your eyes healthy. Call the friendly staff today with questions or schedule a consultation. San Benito Vision Source.
Sunny Glen on Sunny Glen and the services we offer, please visit us at www.sunnyglen.org.
South Padre Island. Enjoy endless activities for all ages. Then dance the night away with live music, savor fresh seafood, and discover unique food trucks and shop our charming boutiques. What are you waiting for?
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focused. Every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. Sherryland ISD.
Texas training programs, all at the most affordable cost in the Rio Grande Valley. Transfer who graduated from TSC and is now patrolling the streets of Brownsville and serving her community. Register now at tsc.edu/register and study local at Texas Southmost College.
Concerns prior to a visit. Dr. Jaime Rodriguez and Dr. Laura Loki offering full vision examinations, diagnostics, and treatment of a regular consultation. San Benito Vision Source.
This summer, it's time for mimosas and brunch with the girls. A beachside lunch with the kiddos. Delicious Bayside burgers. And world-famous fried shrimp with a cold one. South Padre Island has your breakfast, lunch, and dinner plans covered. Book your summer getaway today. Visit sopadre.com.
With financing available too.
My son Leo just graduated from high school, but also
This summer, it's time to go outside and get some air. Explore a pirate ship. Or go horseback riding on the beach. And you can't forget about all the fun on the bay.
What's next? What's next? Can I afford to continue my education? What are my options? At Brownsville ISD Career and Technical Education, you can graduate from high school with a certificate and or license ready to go to work, debt-free. We have a wide range of programs for every student ranging from audiovisual, law enforcement, STEM robotics, electrical, welding, pharmacy, patient care tech, and many more to choose from. That's why Brownsville ISD is the best choice.
Back live going skin here, of course. Here we go for the next topic, really. Once again, I'm Jake Young's 3 Sports Live Network here at Luke Fruia Motors, Luke Fruia Buick GMC and Cadillac. If you're in the market for a new car, check out Luke Fruia Buick GMC and Cadillac, located in Brownsville, Texas. But once again, of course, just before we get into the next topic, of course, talking a little bit more about the Red Crowns, and then, of course, more of that. Just a reminder that the magazine for Rio Sports Live Network for football and volleyball coming out very, very soon. Everyone back at the, I guess, shop in a way. They're working vigorously to get that all done and dusted, finished before, of course, football season and all that fun stuff, because it's very close. Again, August 1st, just to put things into perspective, that's the first official day of practice for volleyball, just to take that into consideration right off the bat. And it's, of course, even maybe before that or same day that you would start to see Midnight Madness for a lot of teams, including like Brownsville St. Joseph Academy for football. So that's very exciting. Looking forward to all of that, because yes, football season is about to be upon us. That includes professional, that includes college, that includes, of course, high school. As well, we all know football really rules all in the Valley. And so it leads us into this fun thing. Of course, before really we get into more of it, I want to kind of do breaking news in a way. It was brought to my attention not too long ago that we have a fun thing to, of course, talk about really quickly. Was with McAllen Memorial Soccer. The Lady Mustangs, to be exact, and this kind of happened pretty quickly, and so that's why. It was, of course, I don't know if it was up. Yes, it was. Okay. As of July 7th, actually, so it's been a bit of a minute, but I just read this not too long ago. Congrats, Chloe Mejia, on your commitment to play soccer at the next level. Saints are cheering you on. Anyways, she is officially committed to Blinn College. This is going to be very fun to, of course, talk about. Midfield engine from South Texas, fueled up and committed Chloe Mejia. So that is exciting that she is officially committed over to play soccer next, very soon. Why is that such a big deal? Of course, we'll answer that question here in a. Well, actually, we'll just start to talk about it now, because I'm really done with talking about the Red Crowns. But anyways, it's because Chloe Mejia, I'm sure, was also possibly had an offer from Texas Southmost College. If not, well, then that really looks bad on TSC. I'm going to be honest, but I don't know. I would assume so, because both teams are in the same conference. Blinn College and Texas Southmost College are in that exact same conference. As, of course, I've learned for the past 2 years, and still this year has been the same. You can move conferences almost every single year, as long as, of course, you have that deal and all that fun stuff. Here's where things get interesting in general. With that move, in a way, or with that commitment, again, TSC miss out on getting a player from down the valley, which they have loved to do. But, again, watching 31 5A soccer, and watching 35A soccer, and watching 32 5A soccer, and watching 32 6A soccer, as well as 31 6A soccer, is mind-bogglingly different in the Valley. For 31 5A girls soccer, to be exact, I've talked about it time and time again. I talk about it so much when it is time to talk about it. And I can tell you one thing that, well, the dominance in girls soccer has always been 31 5A from Mackay McAllen Memorial, winning district. Both of them have won district now for the last, since they moved down to 31 5A. It's been Mackay for the most part, and the McCallum Memorial have won it for the first time 2 straight years in a row. And Chloe Mejia has been a massive help in that midfield for McCallum Memorial. And it's crazy to me she had that much talent to be attracted to, or to have that attraction, or to basically, I'm trying to figure out what word to use, but to get the attention, there we go, to get the attention of Blinn College, and that is absolutely phenomenal, because I can tell you, even from covering covering the summer soccer this year, guess what? There were players from Blinn College, from Austin United as well, I believe it was the team that ended up having some players from Blinn College. If not them, it may have been Foro, or it may have been FC Revolution, 2 teams that did not end up coming down. But I go back to talking about it because of how crazy impressive it is to get the attention of those teams, considering that the head coach on the men's side has that draw of the European players because he's from England. And then on the women's side, you'll still get that draw as well. You'll still get that attention of those players from England on the women's side coming over there, because one of the players that was player of the match was from Milton Keynes. The first time that, of course, they came down to play at home against the RGV or the first time they came down to play against TSC last year. So my whole point is that is absolutely a phenomenal commitment. Not necessarily signing, because they haven't said that she's signed just yet, and so you'd have to think, yes, committed is great, but of course just waiting to get signed and all of that fun stuff is going to be good for possibly, I guess, the 2026-27 season, or 2026 season to be exact. So just very exciting indeed. That's just the skill level of herself, and of course, you play 2 years in that side. It can really help you out, and something like that. And so very excited for, once again, herself to be able to play in this league, or for the NJCAA, for Blinn College, because that's, again, a great addition that she's going to get playing time. Chloe Mejia will get playing time. Mark my words. There's no way she will not. It's such a key midfielder. She has some of the height, but has more of the build in general to be that almost field general at midfield. So it's a really good signing in my eyes. And soccer, again, in the RGV is growing exponentially. It's up for the fans to show their support and go and legitimately be there. Because that is a sport, once again, I always say it, that is a sport that the RGV can dominate in every single year. Every single year. Yet they have so much less support than football. I don't understand. I really don't. But moving on, of course, something that, of course, I figured out and had seen was pretty interesting in general, was that the RGV, is in the RGV that, of course, Texas Southmost College will talk a little bit about them, because it's about time as well as we get closer and closer to the season. There is one thing that will be confirmed here very soon, if I had to say so. You may be getting to see a coach's show here very soon, maybe not necessarily at Luke Fruia, but somewhere else. And that will be very exciting indeed for the coach's show for, Texas Southmost College, both on the men's and women's side of things. So it's going to be very exciting indeed. But we look at it this way, as Just wanted to look at, of course, with Texas Southmost College. Athletics is very exciting for them, at least, because it's getting closer and closer to starting up the season, of course, for themselves. And it's getting exciting for this team. But anyways, one of the biggest things that has TSC Scorpions athletics, there we go, that's exactly what I was looking for. Biggest thing has been getting a lot of signings happening, one of them being Charlie Delgadillo, forward out of Wesco East High School, again, just getting those players, and one from the Lady Panthers, of course, being Wesco Panther Desiree Gamez. We're representing TSC this fall, so there's been a lot of players like that, and then defender from Rivera High School, Adrian Longoria. So you get those players that are having those opportunities to be committed and sign, and it's looking good for themselves as in they're building their team. But again, one of the things to always look for is just the transfer portal. That's still a thing. That's kind of a thing, I should say. Is getting those players to be able to come over and play for the TSC Scorpions for 2 years or 1 year. If they're a sophomore, of course, it's their final year. It's because of the fact that they just covering the red crowns has made me realize so much. TSC do not need to be recruiting the way that they're recruiting. I really do believe they do not need to continue to recruit down in the valley so much. Recruit out of the valley. Recruit in Austin some. Recruit in Denton some. You know, in Dallas, around those areas. Even just keep it in Texas, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. You go out of state too, will probably benefit. You go out of the country, you can definitely have success finding players that want to come down and play. I've learned it so much from, again, covering the Red Crowns, learning so much from the players who came over, the reason why they came over, and stuff like that. And coaches really hammer and saying, from England, saying, go play in the U.S. for a couple of years, at least. Get a bachelor's, get something like that. Because it's worth it for them to have that degree. And then, of course, they're still playing the game that they love. So it's very, very interesting indeed. And just again, for TSC, their conference is interesting this season. As of now, these are the matches that they have scheduled. These are the matches that are expected to still be played. I'm not the biggest fan of it because I feel like it's more against the TSC Scorpions than it is for them. Because out of all the friendlies here, go down to when they're supposed to start play, August 15th against Texas A&M University San Antonio. They did play against them at home for a friendly this past year, so now they'll travel to they'll travel on the road, basically. Then after that, you don't know who is expected to play on the 19th and 22nd. There's a chance that there could be none. And then on Friday, August 29th, will be versus Jacksonville College for both the men's and women's team. After that, we'll be at home against Tyler. And then after that, which, of course, it's 29th and the 30th. Here's where things get interesting. Which I'm really not a fan of any of these. Because there's no need. There was never a need to play these two schools, ever. Traveling to Paris, Texas should not be on their calendar to do at all. But yet it is. Traveling to play at Paris Junior College, they already played them twice before, and now they have to go back on the road to play them. Same with Northeast Texas Community College. Just in case you're wondering how far that is, especially from TSC, it's about close to 800 miles. That's no over-exaggeration. It's from TSC. It's 600 miles from McAllen. So, just to take that into consideration. Oh, and then it gets more interesting. These become conference matches after those two. LSU Eunice is now officially in the conference. They have to travel to Louisiana. Eunice, Louisiana, to be exact. That is on September 16th. Then October 7th, they face Blinn College at Blinn College. Or in in Brenham, Texas, to be exact. Then October 10th, they will be at home against LSU Eunice. Then October 12th on a Sunday, which that date is totally going to be changed. But maybe not, because it's 2 days later. Play Coastal Bend College. Then to end their homestand, October 17th would be against Angelina College. And then Coastal Bend on the road on the 21st. Then to finish up their season will be versus Blinn College on the 24th of October. All that is just very interesting, and it makes me think a lot about their season and why things are going to end up happening the way that they're happening. It just makes me very confused. But, you know, you move on, and we'll see where this season takes them, and if it will take Rio Sports Live anywhere. So very exciting indeed. We'll take one more break. When we return, we'll switch into gear and talk a little bit about motorsports, and then we'll see if we have any time to talk more sports for you all. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
Fiber, this is our home. Take a look at what we do.
standard of excellence has always been Cadillac, so be iconic and drive one. Fruia Cadillac, Brownsville, Texas.
This summer, take a break with the family and visit the best beach in Texas. You're not building just a sandcastle. You're building memories. South Padre Island is the perfect place for fun in the sun. Book your summer getaway today. Visit SoPadre.com.
I'm the new athletic director here. I started here 13 years ago, and 13 years ago, our juniors and seniors were in first grade and kindergarten. As they grew through their lower elementaries, I taught them in third, fourth, and fifth grade. And now, I've coached them their freshman year, their junior year, their sophomore years, and even this year, their senior year. That's one of the pluses here at our school. We're such a close-knit family type of community. You go to big schools where kids might just be a number. Here in San Perlita, kids have a name.
At Marine Military Academy, we educate those who dare to achieve. Those eager to control their future before it controls them. Those who can follow a path so they can eventually make their own. Those ready to join in order to stand out. Welcome to MMA, forging tomorrow's leaders.
Back live going once again to hear from Luke Fruia, Buick GMC and Cadillac. Luke Fruia Motors. Luke Fruia, Buick GMC and Cadillac. If you're in the market for a new car, come check it out. Once again, I'm Jacob Young, and this is Real Sports Live Network. And, well, we mentioned that we talk a little bit of motorsports. Well, we haven't necessarily really touched up on volleyball just yet. Again, we talked about me being able to cover both tournaments on Monday and Tuesday. Both days of the tournament, and it was pretty interesting. The level of play has been absolutely just phenomenal, but the level has been wild in my eyes. Of course, in Highway 83, you have a lot more of the lower valley schools. That includes Wesco East, Wesco High School, or Wesco East really, Brownsville Lopez, Brownsville Porter, and then even Juan Diego Academy that we had covering. And it was interesting. PSA Memorial as well was one of the teams. And why I bring that up is because it was something. For Highway 83, you could definitely tell who the front runners were for that who the front runners are for that tournament. And that includes the likes of Brownsville Lopez, even Brownsville, or even Wesco East could be. And so that's pretty interesting to really look at in general for just that league in general. A lot of who you'd expect to be really well in were. Who you would expect to be struggling in were struggling. Of course, you cannot fault JDA. They need to be in those tournaments to get not necessarily a confidence level up, but to learn a lot, so when they do go into 1A taps, they'll be ready for, they'll be at a better pace, a better chance during their season to win district, potentially. And so that's very just key to think about in itself. So, again, going to the Venom Challenge was very amazing. The first match that I had was Mission High School taking on Los Fresnos High School. And that match, of course, first set, again, it will end in 2 sets no matter what. The first set was pretty back and forth for a bit. And Mission High School were able to stay within the realm of reaching distance with Los Fresnos High School, but Los Fresnos were able to close it out when they needed to and really stay within that within that range to be exact as well. And it was the same thing in the second set, being able to do that, closing it out when they needed to, I was very impressed with the way that Los Fresnos were playing and the way that as well Mission High School were playing. Because I remember last year, and I looked at, of course, the names. There's still a good amount of people that came back for this season. And so, because, of course, they're not seniors, or this is their senior year this year. And so I was looking at it and said, this team is going to be pretty good in 35A. But then I also got to watch Mission Vets. And I got to watch how Mission Vets got to play last night as well in their tournament, or in that tournament day. And I got to see, okay, very similar to how they were last year. They made some more mistakes, but it seems like they're a younger team. So that's going to be interesting to look out for, that they might not necessarily win district. Of course, we don't know how the Laredo schools are yet, and that's fine, because we'll get to know about the Laredo schools here coming up very soon. Like I said, once August hits, you're going to have a lot of those tournaments. You're going to have a lot of them, and that's going to be completely and utterly fine. And so you get into that situation, and it makes you look at it and say, okay, what's going to happen next? Well, we had a lot more games and got to see, of course, Sherryland Pioneer get to play, which was impressive. Got to see Sherryland High School get to play, and so that was interesting indeed. We got to see Harlingen High School play, and just seeing where everyone was for their district in a way. And again, the front runners in my eyes for that 32-6A will be, once again, none other than Los Fresnos. The Lady Falcons seem like they're on that hot streak, though I have not seen Brownsville Hannah. So, or Brownsville Vets. It's tough to say, but at the same time, the teams that I have seen, I would definitely have to say that your front runners would be Los Fresnos Lady Falcons. Their front line was really dominant in my eyes, and that really helped them out. Now, of course, bringing up a big team that I got to witness on court number 2 and got to call, of course, was none other than McAllen Memorial, and got to see them play, which was pretty interesting. They did a really good job, except, yes, of course, a couple of times they ended up falling behind a bit for a while against Mission Veterans Memorial, if I'm not mistaken, or check that, Edinburgh Velas, who they played against, and they fell behind in that match, but we're in the second set, but we're able to come back into that one and win. The first set was 25-15, second set was 25, and coming into that, I believe they had won every single set that they had played for that first week, so that was very impressive in general, as in they were leading the table, and they still led the table as well. Of course, we did not end up watching the last match, but I can tell you one thing, they did look very confident and very composed. One thing that I will have to say, and again, it's because no one else did this on at least our side of the court, was how enthusiastic the bench was. Every single time that they were, whether or not they were playing or not, this was a team that rallied around every single one of them when they would make an ace. It was one of the coolest things. It was like the Mammoth bench back in the day. The Monmouth bench back in the day for college basketball. I don't know if anyone remembers that story, where they would have the antics. Everyone was standing up on the sideline, and then all of a sudden when an ace would happen, players on the court would, do whatever they did, hugged and high-fived, did all that, and then on the sideline, they were so excited, they'd do kind of the same thing, and then one would run up and chest bump the coach. They did that every single time for an ace. Again, every single time they'd get in, they knew what to do. There was timeout. When they'd have to call a timeout or anything like that, they would be focused and know exactly what to do next. It really helped them out. They're such an impressive team. These are teams that aren't being coached by their actual coach yet, because that's not legal, or in the rules. You have to wait until that official start date to practice, which is August 1st. That starts at midnight, by the way. You can literally set a practice for midnight on August 1st. That's called Midnight Menace. But that's so much fun, and that's what you'll get. And so looked exciting is my point. And so just great job from everyone there, and I can tell you one thing: 31-5A is going to be a dogfight because Edinburgh Villa, they look like a force to be reckoned with, as in trying to get that playoff spot. Same deal with Nicky Rowe. From what I could tell, they had some very close games on their end, and that was more of where Sherryland High School was on that end, and so it's just a lot of that. A lot of top-tier teams going into playing against each other, and it was absolutely so much fun to watch. It's going to be a dogfight on every single district from the Upper Valley to, of course, District 30 to 6A in my eyes. So very exciting on that end. Moving on, as we have about 5 minutes or so to finish up this show. Will be going on an hour long, but this, of course, moving on, we have our famous Samantha Tan racing talk. And why will we do this? Well, because she ended up racing this past weekend, and that was at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, a.k.a. known as Mosport. So it was supposed to be, of course, 2 days of racing for the races. Second day got rained out. Unfortunately, that was, of course, the Sunday, the main race. And so now they will stack 3 races or 1 extra race on top of the VIR weekend. So it started off pretty interesting. Of course, I'm going to read a little bit from racers / behind the helmet. Just a little bit of what they had to say about it. Well, Samantha Tan adds GTDX Bronze Cup win to her IMSA VP Racing Sports Car Challenge campaign on home soil. Of course, yes, she is Canadian. She is Asian Canadian, which is pretty interesting indeed. And she's from Toronto, Canada. And so getting to do this, pretty exciting. Racing back at her home track since, I believe, 2016 is what they said. Anyways, Samantha Tan claimed another bronze class victory in the IMSA VP Racing Sports Car Challenge, bouncing back from a challenging qualifying session to narrowly miss out on an overall podium on home soil at Mosport. Yeah, that was pretty interesting as well. You kind of go back to it. Samantha Tan Racing, she did post on her Instagram account just saying, look, that was a very poor qualifying from us because we were so fast in practice, considering that she had topped the bronze charts in practice and missed out on an opportunity, and then in qualifying just had an unfortunate qualifying for herself. She said starting last, but she from first place basically was about a second or 2 back, which, considering how many cars were on the racetrack, was pretty impressive. And then the second one was canceled because of adverse weather. Basically, Samantha Tan was looking in a very difficult spot for the start of the race, but instantly was able to get by a lot of cars and come back and secure a podium in the bronze class. Still leads that championship, by the way, with not a lot of rounds left. I will give you exactly how many rounds are left here this season. It is in the VP Racing Sports Car Challenge for 2025. They completed the Roar before the 24 hours, 45 minutes, and of course Circuit of the Americas race and Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course as well, and then went to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and then August 22nd through August 24th, they will be at Virginia International Raceway before finishing out the season on October 8th through the 11th at none other than Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. So it's a pretty interesting final 2 rounds for her, really. Of course, final 2 rounds includes, well, really 5 races left in the season, and so being able to get the job done at her home racetrack in one of them was a massive, massive result, considering just needing to keep that momentum rolling for her. Of course, I don't know her, but she had the most amazing month of June I think anybody could potentially have, in my opinion, racing the 24 hours of none other than the Nürburgring, racing in the weekend of the 24 hours of Le Mans in that support series. Then on top of that, getting to go to the 24 hours of Spa, not racing in it, but being that BMW ambassador was massive for her in general, just to be able to have that experience. Yes, she's racing the 24 hours of Spa, finished it one year, did not finish it that next year. That was in the Ferrari 296, and it was, of course, unfortunately not her fault. It's just the way that it happened, and it's with, of course, her brand, Samantha Tan Racing, but she kept pushing again, has talked about it, how difficult of the start of the season it was for her just because it felt stagnant. And with, of course, going to the Indy 8 Hours last year and having that result where they should have won the championship easily, instead not, just unfortunate things happened. Something, of course, to always think about. So, absolutely crazy situation either way. It is officially 3 p.m., but a great job there for Samantha Tanner Racing getting that victory, and we'll get ready for the next week. But either way, that's going to wrap things up here from Luke Fruia, Buick GMC and Cadillac. I've been Jake Young. This has been a Real Sports Live presentation